Hi, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Journal and Jazz. This is the third episode, and before we begin, I wanted to thank everybody who left such kind comments these past two videos. Very kind comments. All those kind comments made me want to pursue this project even further. So thank you so much for the support and for all the kind words. And thank you for taking the time to tune in with my little Journal and Jazz project. I greatly appreciate it. I really wanted to say thank you before we begin. This is our third episode. The first one, I was a bit nervous, didn't really have some sort of structure, but this is our third episode. This is Journal and Jazz Chatty. So if you prefer to have a journal video that's kind of quiet, less dialogue, I recommend checking out the Journal and Jazz Chill. But this is Journal and Jazz Chatty, where we will journal together and maybe have a conversation in between. So with every Journal and Jazz, feel free to leave this video in the background. Have any supplies ready, journaling supplies, crafting supplies, and let's journal together. So before we begin, as always, let us set the mood. Let me light a candle. I only have 2 candles, but because it's the morning, let us do the coffee and whiskey candle. So, smells good. Let's light that. Right, let's begin. So, just wanted to show, here are some of the spreads that we've made together. This is the very first one. The second one, this was from Journal and Jazz episode 1. This is from Journal and Jazz Chill. And what's nice about this is that I kind of made like a little booklet here where I can add some more room into this spread, and it makes it a little bit more interactive in a way. I have this little handout from the library with Maltese Falcon on it. I watched that movie last month. Very great. Some Polaroid photos, washi tape, and I made this little sleeve here that in case you didn't want to paste all the photos, or if you have many photos from that day, you can make a little pocket over here. What's great about that pocket is this moves as well. But anyways, it's a new day, comes a new spread. So let's use some clips and let's begin. I wanted to point out I got some fresh, beautiful flowers here. Just wanted to make Journal Jazz a little bit more special. I love flowers. I think they're beautiful. These smell great too. My tea here. I'm excited for this episode because we're going to be talking about confidence. And this one is a little personal for me. Because it's something I'm still trying to work on. Confidence, to be truly yourself, all of that. What inspired me to make this episode was that I was listening to an episode of This American Life podcast, and there was one of the stories. By the way, the podcast is real stories from people, and one of the stories had to do with a Superman, or a man dressed as Superman. So, by the way, I want this spread to be a little bit more sweet, so we'll be using this as the background. And for materials that we're going to be working with, because it's been a while since the last Journal and Jazz, I have this box that's just filled with things I'd like to add in this spread. Yeah, let's begin. The story is about starts off with this man named Luke, and he was at the airport, the Vegas airport, going back to, I think it was Alabama. He was at the airport. He saw this man dressed like Superman, and on the plane, behold, there was Superman again. And he observed him for a bit. He observed these people going up to him, asking him questions like, what's, why the costume? Or little jokes like, why are you taking the plane, Superman? All those. And it didn't bother the man dressed like Superman. Luke observed that he was very polite. He answered all of their questions, and Luke was just kind of observing him from, afar from his seat. And it wasn't until they landed that Luke wanted to learn more about this man. He wanted to learn why the costume. Does he dress like this every day? He was very, very curious as to why this man is putting himself out there wearing the Superman costume out in public. Anyways, he approached the man dressed like Superman, and turns out his name was Mark. And Luke wanted to learn more about Mark, and so Mark and Luke met up with Mark at his home in Alabama, Auburn, Alabama. And oh no, hold that thought, I forgot my glue stick. Mark was like, yeah, sure, of course, meet me at my home. Luke meets Mark at his home, and he wasn't dressed like Superman. He was dressed in regular clothes, but it wasn't until Luke walked in his home, and there it was like a Superman museum. Memorabilia everywhere. Of course, Luke had questions to Mark, asking him, do you wear this suit every day? Do you wear the costume every day? And Mark responded with, I wear it as much as I can. I wear it if it's possible, maybe in the weekends. I like to wear it as much as I can. The big question is, of course, why? Why the suit? Why do you wear it? And it's because his wife passed away very suddenly. She passed away, and there was something in him that realized that, there might not be many days to live by, and that anything could happen, and that because of that moment in his life, it sparked something in him that he didn't want to let each day go to waste, and that wearing the costume makes him it makes him happy, and it makes other people happy, and this is why he wears the costume out in public. Because just think about it. You're going about your day and you're at a grocery store or wherever it is, and you see Superman there. The stories that you can tell to your friend or to whoever, like, I saw Superman, is wonderful, and he loves that feeling of making someone's day slightly, just even more happier, like seeing Superman out in public. One of the things he said was that it's not, anyone can put up one of those, like, anyone can wear one of the Party City $40 Superman costumes, but in order to be taken seriously, he needed to look like he came out of a movie set, essentially. And if you aren't dedicated to that craft, you won't be taken seriously. One of the things that Mark said that stuck out to me was that authenticity is the key to being taken more seriously. So I have a lot of these a box of my past week. Maybe I can do 2 spreads for this episode, because I have just so many things here, and that's what I'll do. I think that Mark's story is very inspiring to me, because when you put yourself out there, you have the power to bring joy to people. Mark, in his Superman costume, he wears it because he likes to brighten other people's day, and that people are going to be sharing stories, and that to brighten someone's day it's a wonderful feeling, and that I think that's very inspiring. Just glue this on. I'm gonna be making multiple spreads here. So this is my week. A lot of coffee shops, a lot of restaurants. I saved a little bit of these wrappers. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. There we go. This is one of those spreads where I feel like I kind of want to have less writing, and I want the visuals to be the communication. When I first filmed Journal and Jazz, I'll be honest, there was an episode I filmed already. It's not the one that I uploaded, but I filmed an episode already. And when I finished editing it, and I did not like how it turned out. In fact, I was criticizing a lot of myself in the video. I felt like I sounded really silly, the way I talked, the way I felt, the things I talked about. I didn't feel, there was a part of me that just did not like what I created. And I think it's because of those insecurities of how I'll be viewed by other people. I thought, like, to myself, oh, I'm not making my sentence flow. I'm messing up a lot of words, and oh, this isn't very embarrassing, and I'm gonna be sharing this. I decided to scrap it, and part of me regrets doing that. And I think that even when I uploaded the Journal and Jazz video that I uploaded, I was nervous with how it was going to be perceived. I know that when it comes to making my words flow and to just talk without pausing and to talk without having to think about what is the next thing I'm about to say, all of that was an insecurity of mine. I was nervous about sounding too ridiculous or talking and none of what I'm saying makes sense. I get nervous when the camera is on, and I get nervous when I have finished editing and I'm finding these things and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I can't put that. That's embarrassing. I can't talk like that. I sound embarrassing. And I've had these thoughts even after it uploaded. I was analyzing everything. I was thinking, does this make any sense? And it wasn't until I started to have a few nice comments and a few nice messages from friends that complimented what I did, and they saw something that I didn't initially see, and that itself encouraged me to keep doing this. Because even like Mark's story, him dressing up as Superman to make someone's day, we don't know how much power that we have and how much influence we have to make another person's day. My goal with Journal and Jazz is to create a space where there is a space where we can unwind and take the time to do an activity that is very beneficial. I think that journaling is very beneficial when it comes to documenting our lives, and it's very beneficial when it comes to creative expression. But I wanted to create a little bit of a small community where we can journal to make all of that happen, where we can find confidence in our craft and we can find confidence in the things that we create and the things that we make. And my goal of Journal and Jazz is that I want us to have a little bit of a space where we can craft and we can express ourselves creativity that we can't really do with words. Journal and Jazz is very visual. It's all about creating spreads from your own experiences and from your own life, and to create a memory and to express ourselves in a way that's visual, that's not necessarily with words, or I don't know if that's making any sense, but that's my goal with Journal and Jazz. This is great for one little spread. I have so much. So what we'll do is that we will create this spread. We'll do spread by spread by spread, and then we're gonna add the decorative elements right after. So let's just begin. So I don't want to overcrowd all of my elements. Let's have a pin here. I wonder where this doily came from. I actually just don't remember. This is really, I think that's really pretty to be in the center. Let's glue this. I think that when it comes to having confidence, it really helps to have a strong support system and to have a lot of friends that support you. Not even a lot of friends, but just friends that will support you no matter what. I've had a really bad habit of focusing on comments and just people that, you know, why am I focused on people who won't see me for who I am and who won't respect my craft and me? rather than the people who are there supporting you. I think we're so focused on trying to be liked, or I mean, not we, but I know for myself, I'm very focused on trying to be liked and trying to be accepted, that I don't realize the people that are already accepting. I'm already focusing on what I don't have and trying to get the approval of everybody, but that's not always healthy. I don't know if the camera shows, but I have a little trash thing here, and that's where this is all going. We also have the ability to inspire other people, and to influence people for the better. I think that I know that I was inspired by, I get a lot of my inspiration from my friends. I started to watercolor food, because of my friends. And my artist friends. It really helps to kind of have a little bit of a community, to find that courage and to find that confidence, because it can be very hard to find the community that you're in, but when you do find it, it becomes so rewarding. I took a lot. I took these all of last week. This was a digital one, and this was one of those vintage photo booths. Luckily this one came with 2 copies, so I don't mind cutting out a piece out of this. I hope you don't mind me sharing a little bit of some Ray lore, but we're gonna go back to my childhood really quick. But when I was young, in elementary school, I assumed that because we were in the same class that everyone was my friend, and because of that I was just so loud and I loved talking to everybody, and that was me as a kid. Elementary school. I love people, and I love talking to people, and I love talking to everyone in my class, because I had this assumption that everyone was my friend and everyone wanted to be my friend, but I was very young, so you know, it wasn't until I hit maybe middle school and high school I realized that everyone was very different, and that's I found it more harder to make friends, and I wasn't too sure why. I think that I felt too shy to approach people by the time I hit high school. I think that I was afraid of being judged a lot, and so I kept a lot of things to myself, and I didn't find it easy to approach people and friends. And there was a part of a high school where I sort of just accepted that I wouldn't have any friends. I was just too shy. I was way too shy. I was insecure about a lot of things. I was insecure about how my voice sounded, how I looked. I was a very thin kid in high school with the glasses that looked very, the frameless glasses. And I found it very hard to approach people because of a little bit of insecurity. And part of me, it's not that I didn't want to have friends, but I just accepted that this is how it is. And in high school, I read my manga in the school library, and it wasn't that bad, honestly. I enjoyed the peace and quiet. However, it did get a little lonely, and once I hit college, I realized that I'm with people that are very similar to me now. Where in high school, you're kind of in these classes that you're lumped with everybody. But in college, because I was an arts major, I got to introduce myself as the artsy person that I am with other art people. And finding friends like that was just very easy. Also, during the pandemic, TikTok was starting to become a really big thing, and I've always loved old movies, and I loved clothes and antiques. Growing up, one of my mom's friends, she introduced me to Shirley Temple and Wizard of Oz. And I would see Marilyn Monroe kind of in the TV, and I would see her in gift shops and souvenirs. And I wouldn't know who she was, but I saw that black and white picture of her with the beauty mark. And I always thought she was so beautiful, but I didn't know that this was a different time, that these stars are no longer with us, and that I was so fascinated by that glamour of old Hollywood. And growing up, I've always loved old Hollywood, but I never found the community or anyone to talk to this about. Of course, I would talk to my friends now that I had in college, but there was no one I could talk to that was just like a super fan of all of these things. And so because of that, during the pandemic, when TikTok was starting to become a, like a bigger thing, that's when I started to kind of put more of that interest out there. And I didn't know there was this giant community that was also there. And that helped when you can find your own, it really helps when you can find that community, because it is out there. And when you find that community, you can't help but feel more appreciated, that you feel like you belong to a place. And it's really nice to find that, because within that you can find the confidence to talk about your interests without being judged. And I know that to put yourself out there, it's a lot of judgment, and there's not a lot of people would receive it well. But once you tune out all that noise and you realize that you have the ability to inspire someone, or to maybe inspire someone to look at something differently, maybe by this someone can finally have the courage to start a journal and not to feel so intimidated on where to begin. I don't know, having that community on TikTok where I was able to kind of talk about my antique finds and to talk about fashion and thrifting, it really felt wonderful. It really felt wonderful to have a place where I wouldn't have to feel so alone, and that there are people who are very similar to me. I used to kind of joke way back when I was really deep into like my vintage. I wouldn't say a phase, because I always love vintage clothes and old clothing, but when I was really deep into it, it felt like I was having friends that it felt like I was a time traveler in a sense, because I would have friends who would be in these 80s aesthetic, and I would have friends who are into 1940s outfits. So it's really funny. But all of that compared to when I first started out in high school without any friends, it feels really wonderful to move on to life and to have a strong support system. And to find that could be a little bit of a challenge, especially if you don't know where to begin. But my advice is to at least put yourself out there very slowly, because you don't know that there is a loving community out there for whatever interest that you have. For me, it was old movies and clothes. And because of that, through that, I was able to meet so much wonderful people, and wonderful people from the other side of the globe that love the things that I did, and it just feels wonderful. Sorry, I was chit-chatting a lot. Oh, this was when I watched The Last Showgirl. Let me just cut this out. Let's move on let's move to another spread for this. So let me flip the page. Finally watched The Last Showgirl, and I have a letterbox, so I did a very, very long rating, but just to summarize what I felt like this was a story that needed to be made. I grew up in Vegas, and the reason why I say this was a story that I felt like needed to be made is because, as someone who really appreciates history, and especially Vegas history, it hurts to live in a city that is always demolishing the old to make room for the new. Vegas has always been the city to never really preserve a lot of its history and roots. Because when you think about like the time of Vegas when Sinatra and Elvis was performing, you think of the glitz and the glamour of Vegas, of the big neon signs, and you think of Elvis and the big showgirls, and that comes to mind. But hardly any of that is ever preserved. We do have some casinos. We have the neon museums that preserve a lot of this old signage. However, we have a long way to go when it comes to preserving the arts, or to have a strong art community. It is getting a little bit better, of course, but we have a long way to go. And this movie felt that. Pamela Anderson, Shelley, had to move on knowing that her show was ending. Her show that she's been doing for the past 30 years of her life. Because Vegas was progressing, and that the era of the feathers and the rhinestones it's no longer the Vegas of the past. We're now moving towards the future of risque comedy. And it was very hard to watch because it summarized everything that I felt. It felt that Vegas just can't really preserve any of their history. I think we're having a museum now, but we definitely have a long way to go, and it really hurts to, I think that Vegas is a city with a lot of rich history. I think there's remnants of that in downtown Vegas. You can kind of see some of those old signage, and some old casinos are still around. I think Golden Nugget is an example. El Cortez Casino and Hotel is one of those really old historical casinos. But I just think it would be very wonderful if Vegas kept a lot of those old signage. I know we have Fremont Street, but I feel like Fremont Street in a way is a little bit modernized with that giant LED screen on the top. I think that even when I go downtown and I go to the antique stores over there. Some of those buildings are not in the greatest condition. I think that, and even though this is supposed to be about the movie, I'm talking about the movie just made me realize that I think Vegas has a lot of work to do when it comes to keeping the arts. I did like the movie. There are just some things that I'd like to change, of course. I would have loved that if, Shelley had a very hard time trying to come to terms that her show was ending, and that I wanted to see from the director that I needed to see that her environment was changing. That her environment was changing. I needed to see the lights or the signage of the show being taken down. I needed to see that all of this was happening in real time, and it's not necessarily just talked about, but I needed to see a visual of the empty crowd. I needed to see the posters being taken down, the signage. I wanted to even see Shelley and Shelley sharing the room with the oh my gosh, I hope I'm not spoiling anything. Well, the movie is about Shelley and her show ending and coming in terms to that. But I needed to see more of that change in the environment. I think that it would have helped making the story more impactful, and it's not necessarily just talked about like, oh, the show is ending. I needed to see all of that changing around her environment-wise. I have this Annie's pretzel bag. It's ridiculous. I don't think I want to use the whole thing, so what about we'll just cut the pretzel part. When I was celebrating Sydney's birthday, I was hunting down I was calling 5 different baby stores in Vegas that sold the Jelly Cat Bear, Bartholomew, and one of the shopping plazas had it at their store. Because I was in such a hunt, or I was in a mission trying to find that bear, I forgot to eat, and I forgot that I have to take care of myself. Just not that great. Not a great way to start off the year. But I remember I was just so hungry that before I went in the store, I bought this pretzel, and I've never ate a pretzel so fast. So, just let me take some of that. When it comes to, this is really cute. When it comes to packaging, or, when it comes to saving packaging and putting it in your journal, I really love In-N-Out's packaging. You can never go wrong with that red palm tree design. It's very timeless. So I get very happy when I get to paste packaging on my journal. Another one, but I don't know if I want to use that, so let's just dispose it. Okay. This was let's paste out there. have a napkin from the cafe that I went, and I used to save the Ralph coffee napkins, so I'm not too sure how I'm gonna paste this because this napkin is very thin. I don't know where I can put this in. Let's put this as the background for the next spread. So what we're doing right now is that we're making the layout, and then we'll add the decorative parts right after. It says that I've been recording for 49 minutes already. I hope it's recording here. That's crazy. It's funny because I have so much of these little photo booth photos that I've taken here. Part of me doesn't want to cut it though, but I have to paste it somehow. This Target receipt, I don't remember what it was for. This is when I bought shaving cream. I think doing these journal and jazz videos it helps me not have this giant buildup of these paper material that I save, because I think by doing this it makes me a little bit more organized, that none of these stuff are just kind of crammed in a folder and that they're actually being used frequently. I think I'll put that here. I'm gonna cover it up like that. I received a really nice comment on the first journal jazz suggesting that I use vellum paper, and that's a really great idea. It gives it that kind of memory hazy look to it, that very blurry look to it, and I can't wait to buy some vellum paper. Try that out. I've seen some people on Pinterest, when it comes to the journal inspo part of Pinterest, that use a little bit of vellum paper and they do writing on vellum paper, and it's just very beautiful. Check this out. Everything that you saw in the box is now in paper, or now in journal. Let's see. So, this is my planner. I have my little planner here. Other camera. Normally what I do is I keep a lot of things that I want to use in my journal in the pockets of this. So let's see if I have anything else I can use. I have this. I got a lot of these because in Diptyque, these are the little sample cards. but they smell, because I sprayed it, but they smell beautiful and they have beautiful art on them. So we're gonna use this as decoration in between. Alright, let's get to the best part, which is, well, I wanna use this somehow. This kind of looks like the same picture. Maybe. Maybe I'll save this because I kind of want to scan it. But let's decorate now. I'm going to do the decoration part. This is the fun part. So I actually, like I said, I sprayed a lot of samples just so I can have the card. Not only that, but it makes your journal smell really good. And where to pull. This is also really pretty. Let's focus on this spread. Let's take out the ephemera box. Let's see if there's anything that I'd like to add here. Maybe some brown into the spread. Oh, I love this one. I can use that gingham square somehow. There's a little calendar. It has 2023 on it though. I'm gonna do a little tiny bit of an art thing. I'm gonna cut the ends of these because it does say 2023. And we're just gonna paste all of them to show a little bit of a passage of time in an artsy way. So I don't think my journal, the one that I'm using right now, is a great indicator of time. So I'm really glad that I have a planner, the one that I just showed you, the Hobonichi planner, and that keeps tracks of my day-to-day. So, because I don't journal in chronological order. I think that's just I don't like to do that. I like to have everything that I feel in a very, it's a way, like it's a memory essentially. Memories are not always clear, but there it is. There's that. It's really pretty. We're gonna add, let's add stickers. Let's do this. I don't know why I feel very tempted to move on to the next spread and then go from there. But here, let's add some stickers. maybe these we could work with. I also have this, it's a children's sticker book, but I think that you can take the stickers with the crepes and sprinkle it in. I kind of want to write the date of this day. This was actually 2 days ago. I'm gonna put the little sticker where I can write that day. Let's open these up. These are from ISO. I really like this spread a lot. I don't know why. I think it's because I love the color scheme. But we're gonna do something a little bit extra with this spread. So this little box here is my stamps. I have this stamp from my trip to New York that I bought at a little bookstore. I'm sorry, not bookstore, a little stationery store. This was pricey. This was $8 for this little stamp, but I thought this would be perfect to add here. So, all of these little things are to make journaling a lot fun. I think this is coated. Let's see if it will stamp right here. Cute! Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Maybe I can add like this little... Actually, let's add the star. That's so cute. I'm obsessed. One more. Let's do it here. One more. Isn't that adorable? I love stamps. Well, I'm glad I did this because I didn't realize how much fun I'd have. Let's move on to the next spread. Before we move on to the next spread, let's show the camera what we created. As we move on to the next spread, my question for you as the viewer is, we're 13 days in January. What do you think so far? How do you like this new year? You having a lot of fun? Yeah, I just am curious. Okay, this page is a little empty, but you know what? We can make it a little bit better. So I think I pulled out a few. Where did my... Let's add more of those diptyque things. Let's add one with color. Oh, this one's really pretty. This page is a bit weird. I think we can spice it up a bit more. This is 6. January 9th. Oh. Let's see. I know I took more Polaroid photos. I don't know where I placed them. add more bear stickers. Sorry if you constantly see me looking up from the top camera. I just need to know if it's still recording or not. This. Can I add that? I just want to say I'm having a lot of fun right now. There's something satisfying about seeing your life. There's that quote I always love by Anais Nin, where we write to live twice, and you probably heard it a lot, but it's true. We write again to taste life twice. This time, we can taste life in the way that we'd like to remember it by. And so, I love that I can reimagine my life in my journal with stickers and little fun memories I can remember it by, and these Polaroid photos of, you know, I always say that our journals are a reminder that we exist. And, I've been using a lot of these stickers. I love them. Let's use the crepe ones. It was Denny's birthday, so let's see if we can find a strawberry crepe. Look at this. Wonderful. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these pages, but let's use this. Now we can use a little bit more of that red hearts. More stickers. Oh, these are nice because they're one of those clear ones. It's a very strawberry page. Let's see, I think we have one more page to work with. So let's work on that. Last page, let's work on this. All right. I think I have some. I knew I wanted to use these. Let's see, I kind of want to add one of these pictures in the back spread. Not there. Maybe here. Let's see. Let's add that here. Yeah, I covered my photo, but I didn't really like that one. I have more here. And I can add that here. I hope you guys don't mind where I would start off the video being very verbal, and then midway, I get like non-verbal. Yeah. Do you think that maybe for the 4th, well, 4th is going to be Journal and Jazz Chill. Do you think for maybe the 5th episode, I should have maybe a handful of topics to talk about, or it can just be laid back like this? I think having it laid back like this is fine. Journal and Jazz is not meant to be stressful. Have that. Now, let's add a little bit of washi tape here. See, I like this one because this one looks a little like a painting. Let's put some here. Maybe we can put the trash. Kind of want to put a little bit of stamp here as well. I love these bear stickers. But I think I used all the good ones. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Journal and Jazz. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any other suggestions or anything that you'd like to add to improve Journal and Jazz, or just anything, please let me know in the comments. I greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to kind of find more of what I do, my Instagram is linked. It's not a journal Instagram, it's just my personal Instagram, but I want to integrate more journal into it. I'm also on Substack as well, same name. Or I think it's Dear.Ray on there, same as Instagram. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in to this another episode of Journal and Jazz. And thank you again so much for tuning in. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.